Picture this. America, 1921. The roar of a biplane engine is the sound of the future, a sound of freedom and endless possibility. But that freedom isn't for everyone. If you're black, the doors to flight school are slammed shut. If you're a woman, they're bolted and barred. So if you're a black woman with a dream of soaring through the clouds, what do? You become unstoppable. This is the story of Bessie Coleman, a woman who was told the sky wasn't for her, so she went out and claimed it anyway. Her story begins far from the clouds, on the dusty cotton fields of Texas. Born in 1892 to a family of sharecroppers, Bessie was one of 13 children. Her days were spent picking cotton under a relentless sun, her hands calloused, her back aching. But while her body was tied to the earth, her mind was already in the sky. She was a brilliant student who devoured books, walking for miles each day to a one-room segregated schoolhouse. She promised herself one day she would amount to something. She just didn't know what yet. When she was 23, she moved to Chicago, searching for opportunity. She found work as a manicurist in a barber shop, listening all day to the stories of soldiers returning from World War I. They spoke of the skies over France, of daring dogfights, and the incredible freedom of flight. Their words ignited a spark in Bessie. That was it. That was her dream. She wanted to fly. But her dream immediately hit a wall of prejudice. A black woman pilot. You must be joking. That's what she heard, over and over. Every flight school in America turned her down. They saw her color, they saw her gender, and they saw an impossibility. But they didn't see Bessie's spirit. When her brother, who had served in France, teased her, saying that French women were better because they could fly, it wasn't an insult, it was a roadmap. If America wouldn't teach her, she would go to France. But that took money. A lot of it. So Bessie got a second job managing a chili parlor, saving every single penny she earned. She also knew she'd need to speak the language. So, while working 2 jobs, she enrolled in a French class at night. For 2 years, she worked, she saved, she studied. Her goal was so far-fetched, so audacious, that most people would have given up. But Bessie wasn't most people. With her savings and some help from influential black community leaders who believed in her vision, Bessie finally had enough. She traded her manicurist's uniform for a ticket to Paris, alone. She crossed the Atlantic, a young woman from the cotton fields of Texas, heading into a world she'd only ever dreamed of. She enrolled in the Caudron Brothers School of Aviation, one of the best in France. Learning to fly wasn't easy. The planes were flimsy, made of wood, wire, and cloth. The instruction was all in French. One of her fellow students died in a crash right before her eyes. It was dangerous, terrifying work, but Bessie was fearless. 7 months later, on June 15, 1921, she did it. Bessie Coleman became the first black woman and the first Native American woman in the world to earn an international pilot's license. She had wings, and no one could ever take them away. When she returned to America, she was a sensation. Queen Bess, the newspapers called her, but her fight wasn't over. Her ultimate dream wasn't just to fly for herself. It was to open a flight school for other black Americans, to create the opportunity she had been denied. To fund this dream, she became a barnstormer. Barnstorming was the daredevil entertainment of the 1920s. Bessie would perform breathtaking aerial tricks for huge crowds. She'd do loop-the-loops, figure-eights, and walk on the wings of her moving plane. People gasped. They cheered. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. A black woman, master of the sky. She was a star, but she used her fame as a weapon for change. She refused to perform at any show that was segregated. If the audience wasn't integrated, with everyone entering through the same gate, Queen Bess wouldn't fly. And because the crowds were so desperate to see her, the organizers often gave in. With her courage, she wasn't just breaking barriers in the sky, she was breaking them on the ground. For 5 years, she toured the country, inspiring thousands. She gave speeches at schools and churches, encouraging young black men and women to chase their own impossible dreams. She was so close to her goal of opening her school. She had saved almost enough money. But on April 30th, 1926, during a practice flight in Jacksonville, Florida, tragedy struck. The plane she was in, piloted by her mechanic, malfunctioned. It went into a dive and then a spin. Bessie, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt so she could better scout the terrain for a parachute jump, was thrown from the plane. She was only 34 years old. Her life was cut short, but her legacy was just beginning to soar. Bessie Coleman proved that the only limits are the ones we accept. She showed an entire generation of little black girls and boys that they could do anything, be anything. Her life became a blueprint for courage. She once said, "The air is the only place free from prejudices. You've never lived until you've flown, and the only way you'll ever know is to try." I'm trying something that feels just as impossible right now. Inspired by Bessie's story, I'm starting something small and new, called Johayna. It means little jewel in Arabic. It's not a company. It's a small, honest family of kind and ambitious people. We choose each other, and we grow together by placing just 5% of our monthly earnings into a shared fund. A fund that lifts every single one of us higher, helping us reach our own skies, whatever they may be. Right now, it's only me holding this dream. I feel a bit like Bessie must have felt, standing alone with nothing but determination and a ticket to France. But I believe there are others out there who feel the same way. If her story made your heart beat a little faster, if you've ever been told you can't, and you kept going anyway, maybe you're exactly who this little family is waiting for. If you feel a quiet yes in your heart, send me your CV, or just a few real words about yourself. Tell me about your dream. I read every single message myself, and if we both feel that this is right, we'll grow this dream together, one brave soul at a time. Bessie showed us that the sky isn't too high when we lift each other. If you're ready to fly, drop Johayna in the comments below. Thank you for listening to Bessie's incredible story. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories of quiet legends every week.